Okay, this is part B, assignment B of Unit 7. This is also still dealing with the empirical rule. So again, I will remind you of the basics of the empirical rule. All right, so we have the average and a standard deviation. Okay, we create a probability distribution, which bumps up and gets smaller as it goes out. Okay, it doesn't dip below that line, it'll keep getting closer. We put the average right smack dab in the middle, so most people should be average. And then we notice that the number of people get less and less, or number of things get less and less as you go away from the average, and we go away in standard deviation forms. Okay. The specific probabilities that are assigned to these parts is the first one is 34%, the next one is 13.5%, 2.35%, and then the end little sliver off into infinity is 0.15%. Oops, sorry, missed one there. And there it is. That's the empirical rule. Those are the numbers that you have to have written down. Okay. Also, which is described a little bit in this chapter and will be more, I think, in the next chapter, the chapter beyond this, is the way to describe this curve. If you're describing the height of it, you're describing the relative frequency around the mean. If you're describing the general width of it, you're describing the standard deviation. Okay, create a normal distribution. All right, so that is just asking for one of the curves. So it bumps up in the middle, goes down, it doesn't dip below this line. That's a normal distribution. If you want to put the vertical lines on there, that's fine, you can do that as well. Okay, so the average and then one standard deviation, two standard deviations. You can do that as well. As long as it bumps up in the middle and it gets lower as you go away. Please do not, don't make that, don't make like a half circle, don't make like a top hat, like I see people sometimes do this, they're like something like that. Easiest way to make one of these curves is to start in the middle, start at the top, and kind of like make an S shape going downwards. And then you just kind of mirror the idea. So start top, middle, and then go down. That's usually how I found to be the easiest way to draw it. All right, according to the empirical rule, what percentage lies within two standard deviations? So here we go. We have this empirical rule. So if this is the average right in the middle, they want to know within two standard deviations. That means two standard deviations up and these would be within two standard deviations. So 2 up to 2 down is within 2 of the mean, or within the average. This is what, 13.5. This one is 34. This is 34. This is 13.5. So if we add all those up, that is going to be equal to 95%. All right, this next one, they say a light bulb has an average life expectancy of 600 hours with a standard deviation of 100 hours. So that would make the average 600 with the standard deviation of being 100. So that'd be 700, 800, 900. And this would be 500, 400, 300. And they want to know between 600 to 700. So 600 all the way up to 700 would be that 34, and that's it right there. So it's just straight up 34. Okay, the larger standard deviation, that means the standard deviation is the width, and so the larger one would be A. Farmer notices his wheat production mean, his average, is 35 bushels per acre with a standard deviation of 8 bushels. So this is the average, that is the 35. And then each standard deviation is 8. So that would be 43, 51, and 59. Going down, that would be 27, 19, and 11. And we want anywhere between 19 and 35. So 19 up to 35. That means we're starting at 19 and we're going up to 35. Would be this 13.5 and this 34. So 13.5 and 34 is 47.5%. Within one standard deviation. So again, if this is the average within one, it means within one. So that means 1 up, 1 down is within 1. Okay, so if this is 34, this is also 34. That would mean that this is 34 and 34, which is 68. Life expectancy of a bulb is 545, and standard deviation at 93. Let me make the numbers harder now. Okay, so 545. $638. $731. $824. $452. 5 All right, so they want it from 359 up to 638. Okay, so this is 34, this one's 34, and this one's 13.5. So this is going to be 13.5 plus 34 plus 34. $81.5. This one is asking for the smaller standard deviation. Again, a standard deviation is the width, so the smaller width would be B. Number 5, notice that the mean, the average is 42 with a standard deviation of 7. This one is asking between 35 and 49. 34, 34. All right, so again, the key to success is knowing these particular percentages and knowing how to set up one of these distribution curves.